Hey guys, Dave from Dave's Glory Shopworks here, and on this episode, I'm gonna try and give a breakdown of my waste oil furnace that I built a couple weeks back. We had some pretty cold minus 40 degrees Celsius weather, and let me tell you, it's hard to do any kind of work in the garage in that without proper heating. I do have a propane heater up above on the ceiling, but it's not up to the task when only half of my ceiling is insulated. Still working away at getting the ceiling insulated, but for now, I am much happier. Instead of burning a bunch of propane that I can't afford, I can burn waste oil. I get it for free from my work, or any oil changes and such I do here in my own garage. And this thing works pretty good, kicks out a little bit of heat, and if I let it really go, I'm sure I could just about melt down everything, but everything within reason. So I'm going to try and give you a rundown, fire it up like she's dead cold right now, and we'll start from there. Actually, let's see how cold it is actually in the garage right now. Alright, so currently it is 37.5 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, let's start with the makeup of the furnace, what I did to build it. Give you a quick rundown on that, and it's pretty simple. And then we're going to fire it up and get going on it. Alright, so we're going to start with the chimney pipe, which is, if anybody can tell, 3-inch exhaust pipe. That's all it is. And yes, that is my window, which was already smashed, and the first pane was smashed, so I finished it off, smashed out the second pane, so I didn't have to cut a hole in my wall. That window needs to be replaced anyway, so I'm not crying about that. So chimney pipe is literally straight welded onto the top. I hole sawed a 3-inch hole and chimney piped it. This guy's just a convection blower fan, which doesn't actually do enough to circulate in this large of a space, but it makes me feel good to see it going. Now then we have our waste oil bucket right there. I built my spout coming out of it probably, I want to say 2 inches up from the bottom, because the bottom's right about here. About 2 inches up, and that allows any water to separate down. And it's a simple tap, or ball valve. Now, an actual needle valve would be better, like a faucet tap or like an outdoor garden hose tap. That would be much better, but simply has a 90 degree, and I actually put it into an airline fitting. See if I can get you a little better light on this guy. There it is. It's just an airline fitting, and it's got a nice tiny, like 3/16 of an inch hole into my plastic funnel, which you would think, why use a plastic funnel on this oil drip tube? But let me assure you that everything from down here right up to there stays cold. The copper just dissipates the heat beautifully. Probably why we use it in radiators for years and years. Now that goes in, and it's not even sealed there. It should be. Like, this thing isn't the most efficiently built awesomeness, but it's not quite sealed in here, and I wanted to be able to move it back and forth easily to see which was my best option. Other than that, this is a 40-gallon air compressor tank that I've had for, I want to say 6 years or more, and I needed to do something with it, so I built a furnace out of it. But down here, I took one hinge, cut it in half, used bolts and nuts, built 2 hinges, welded them on, and I cut it around all the way. I made a simple rudimentary latch. Now this plate is just kind of a heat diffuser. That's all it is. Nothing fancy there. This bowl now, let me see if I can get in there really good. So you see that steel tube, just black pipe sticking up through the bowl. I have holes all the way around the bottom of that tube. You can kind of see them in the light. They're like 3/16 of an inch holes. There's about 10 of them around. And that's, I believe, half-inch black pipe. Yes, half-inch. And that's bolted to a flange. On the top, I have a gasket sealer made out of Remflex header gasket material. And then it goes to the bottom. And that's what it sits on. Now that goes actually right through the drain port of the furnace, or sorry, of the air compressor tank. And that comes out here and goes over to my air compressor. And the reason for that is I wanted to force feed air in to better control the feed to the fire without relying on just venting. And this way I can really get this thing going. If I add a little more airflow, it'll cook that oil just that much better. That's the basic makeup of this thing. There's nothing fancy. It's all stuff I had lying around. I think I'm actually into it for a whopping $18. And that was just for those cast iron flanges to like use as bulkheads in the bottom of the steel pan. Even that steel bowl I had lying around here, I didn't steal it from my girlfriend or anything. Didn't take it out of the kitchen cupboard. But there's a full view of it. And I have a box fan over here that I use just to troll the air around on low speed. The downside is my compressor will run, probably turn on every 5 minutes. So that's annoying. But when I get this running here, I'll just shut the compressor power off, and that way we can kind of show you what's happening with it without the compressor kicking on all the time. Alright, let's get to lighting this thing. I forgot to mention, my drip tube just comes out right here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but right at the end here, and it just drips into the side of the bowl. This diffuser goes in. It's just a heat dissipator to, I think anyway, I haven't really checked the science on it or the why, but it goes right beside it. And I don't know, I think it reflects the heat more. Alright, gotta find a rag. And this gasoline treatment, I just happen to have it lying around, seems to work pretty good. So I'm gonna put this guy in here. Right like, I'm going to give it a bend so it can sit around the tubing. There we go. Drizzle some of this stuff on there. It's all just a little squirt will do you. I might add some more as I go, but lighter. And I'm trying to light some of that fuel, but it's not going. There. Now that's going to burn nicely. I'll add a little bit more in the bottom. Call me crazy, but it works. So now that that's burning, I have to turn on the tap. And I'm going to get it flowing pretty quickly right now. I don't want to burn my camera, but I want you guys to see this. So as soon as I see oil dripping out of that, I'm going to turn it down to regulate how much oil comes out. We only need it to be barely a steady drip, is what I find best for this thing. Just a thin trickle. There she is. I'll turn it off for a second and let that just drizzle out. Once it starts to get thinner, I'll start adding a little more. You just got to get the flow right. There, she's starting to thin out now. So now I'll actually regulate it. And I'll show you guys in a few minutes what that actually does once this starts to heat up a little bit. So right now that oil's not really going to catch fire unless I add a little more fuel to it. So I'm going to grab that squirt bottle again. Because the trick is, you got to get it warm enough for the oil to burn. That should help. Now I'm going to add some air to it. Alright, the air is being added. The oil is dripping down steady. There is some excess oil in the bottom that has to burn up first. I may increase the oil flow, I may not. But what was that, about 3 or 4 minutes maybe? Now I'm going to close the door. And that helps the compressed air actually do its job, I found. Alright, well that thing is starting to heat up. We're just going to hang out. And I'll be bringing it back as soon as I start getting some heat out of her. And I'll give you an approximate amount of time it is. Alright guys, now you can hear it. Let's have a look. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I got a tiny little pencil drip going in there. Here is, that's it, just that little drip right there is feeding that fire. Now we're talking, most people average about 1 liter of waste oil per hour of use. I don't have enough data right now to sustain that or to say what I'm doing or not. Now let's try to see if we can get this guy. I'm reading 409 degrees Fahrenheit, 410, 12 and climbing. So it feels good, but that's only just right here. So I put my box fan out. I should put it on a stand to get a little more heat. And I'm going to turn the fan up a little bit. I mean, essentially, that's what it's at. You can still see my breath, but that's in the last, I think it was 18 minutes, because I paused the camera while this was warming up, and I called my buddy, and the phone said about 14-minute call, and this is about 3 minutes later on video. So yeah, in 18 minutes we got 400 degrees kicking out of that thing. And if it was daylight out, I could show you there's almost no exhaust. It's burning quite cleanly in there. And yeah, there's no way I could show you right now. There's no light on that side of my garage, so it would be a waste of going outside and trying. But that's what I can say. Now even my old thermostat here says 39 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's not bad. Yeah, I leave my thermostat right there just to get an idea of what's happening around me. And the heat will cycle more if I want to waste a bit of propane, because I don't have just a fan control for my overhead furnace right up there. But when I turn that guy on just on low and I let it cycle, it gets warm all around here really quickly. Now I can feel the heat coming through my like along my legs on my pants. from the box fan. And as you can see, my fans are just whirring away on my convection heater, or my convection fan. Alright, so here we are. It's about an hour, maybe an hour and a half later. Figured I'd give you a quick update. Now, I've got my box fan out. It's on full blast. You remember when we started, the internal temperature of the garage was 37 degrees when I just got it running, and now we are at 53 degrees Fahrenheit. So almost a 20 degree jump, which I'm pretty happy with. The furnace is holding steady at 439. We'll say 435 to keep it easy. I have turned up the air and turned up the oil just a little bit. I don't know if I can show you the oil, I don't have my flashlight, but it's just a steady stream right there. Whoops, making a mess. Alright. Steady stream. This pipe, still chill. Like literally cold. Starts to get a little warm right about there. Not bad. Furnace. I'll try to give you a quick sneak peek. She's just a burning away. Happy. Now I'd love to show you, but I still got no exhaust smoke out there, but you're just not going to see it. And got my jacket off. Barely any little hint of breath coming out. I mean, for something that cost me a whopping 20 bucks, and I think it was about 2.5 hours of messing around to throw together my first one. Yes, there's better ways to do them. There's other ways to control it. Like, it's amazing what you can do with them. But what's going to suit my needs right now is to just keep the chill off so I can work in here. And as you can see, the garage is slowly emptying. We're getting things going here. We got a project to come in the first week of February. We're hoping to get it in this weekend. And we need this place ready. I mean, as ready as it'll be. I'm not going to have everything in its place specifically, but rest assured, we will have it organized enough to get this project going. And that is our main goal right now. So, again, thanks for watching this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the little quick update here, and thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one.